me through the screen. Yeah, I'm paying. No, options. Yeah, that's right. No. You know, everyone started doing it the moment they got the option to skip fucking chapter 1.
Not everybody. Only speedrunners.
Hey, you wanna get a nice sense of scale for the building you're gonna be trapped in the whole game? No? Okay. Just go to like an hour in where you're like, how fucking deep am I? Kill speedrun.
Oh,
Kill
by the
speedrun.
way,
Let me die!
Jesus Christ, Quinn. I was going through the VODs and the
Oh,
recordings, and I found Cry of Fear, by the way. I still haven't uploaded it yet.
it's a clunky, beautiful mess of scares and good scares.
Honestly, they're not even good scares.
And puzzles that infuriate me.
We still haven't gotten out of the room.
Mm. It's fun to watch other people play it. It's not fun to play it. If you're me. They're having a meta commentary about the worth of remaking a game that's already so good.
What?
The scientist talking in that glass room that we pass on the way in here. He's like, this experiment's already been done. Yeah, but this new version's gonna be crazy. Just let me get the juice, please. I want the juice. Thank you.
I love the music. There wasn't music in Half-Life.
Oh, there was. It was just a lot more beep boopy and shit.
Yeah.
A lot of the tracks are actually reused in Half-Life 2. Oh, they're gone. Damn.
You fuck up the guy's casserole?
Nah, I feel like it.
Come on. Make sure you jump. Just jump and right before you hit the ground, jump again. Do it?
Not breaking immersion. Fuck off.
You're afraid of breaking immersion.
Meanwhile, at the same time, no, I'm not turning on fucking weapon weaving while we run.
Too
That's
late.
stupid.
There you go. I like how we went all the way back to the fuck with this fucking casserole. You know what? Fuck it. I'll turn on my camera this recording session.
Live white reaction cam.
Yeah, hoodie and shit. I'm super comfy. I just got back from the
You can
fucking
read
doctor.
this, you got really good eyes, like holy shit. That's what the original version with the fucking guard on it said in like Half-Life 1. It
My
was so
mom couldn't.
compressed and shit.
So we had to drive through fog, and I'm like, "Hey, mom," because she's like, "I can't see anything," and I'm just like, "Hey, mom, can you see the sign across the street?" And she's like, "What fucking sign? The closest I can see is on this side of the street. See that blue sign?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I was looking at something probably 3 times the distance away. I could even see the building behind it. I could literally see the power box in the building on the other side of the road that's behind a fence line and a street and like a road because you can drive in front of the building. Private property.
Gentlemen.
I had no problem seeing probably 1,500 feet in front of me through fog. I got really good eyes.
What's up, Doc?
The only reason any of this happened is because they decided to fiddle with the knobs because they had some extra time before the experiment because Gorbo was running a bit late.
Ah, Gordon. There you are.
I remember a glitch in like the earlier versions of Black Mesa where their fucking ties would go insane.
Yeah, it's on fucking YouTube still. Still got the original clips on YouTube.
The administrator is very concerned that we get a conclusive
Oh,
analysis of today's sample. Together he went to some lengths
heaven
to
forbid we forget the
We're
physics.
waiting for you,
when the prequel had next to nothing to do with physics.
Right.
I forgot you could throw shit in Black Mesa.
Yeah, it's got the same fucking physics engine as Half-Life 2,
Eli has
Yeah.
been busy
which
making
seems kind of pointless when Half-Life 1's was super bare bones.
Half-Life 1's was like a skeletal system. Half-Life 2 has like a full body, muscles,
Pick this up,
tendons.
move right, and it would shotgun that way.
I know you would move you would like move left, and it would just flick. You gotta crouch jump if you want to do it.
I don't feel like breaking my legs.
by Becquerel's ghost. The radiation level is off the charts.
Man obtains thousands of pussy.
Can you talk a bit? Actually, I don't even need you to. I can see the audio
Oh, there you
levels.
are. Everybody's been looking for you.
What does this say?
I gotta turn that
The
up.
big yellow book of scientific words and phrases.
Let me see. Let me read the name. I can read the name. Oh,
Step right up.
G writes.
I think it's C rights.
I mean, yeah, sorry, C writes. Compelled by C writes.
I actually have to set it down so I can go through the door.
Here he is.
Farewell.
I'm gonna shave.
We'll be deviating a bit from standard analysis
What was that about
procedure
breaking
today.
immersion? As you were trying to stand on another person's skull?
This is a rare
Admiring
opportunity.
hand.
This is
Whoa,
the
that's a
purest sample
veins.
we've
Wow.
seen yet.
And potentially the most unstable.
Now, as long as we follow standard insertion procedures,
It's like at that point,
Know how
Gordon's
to
just
proceed.
hovering off of it.
Although I will admit that the
Yeah.
possibility
Oh, that
of
fucking
best
Half-Life
case
2
scenario
mod
is
video you sent me
unlikely.
was fucking great.
Don't feel
Gordon doesn't
So
need to hear all
stupid. It was the one you posted in fucking memes.
We'll assure
Yeah.
the administrator that nothing
That's literally what it looks like when.
Yes.
I mean,
it's
you
like-
want me to kick Cat out of the boys?
Gordon,
Nah, that's fine.
confidence in you.
Well, go ahead.
I'm not that
Let's
vengeful.
let him in now.
I won't bother talking about it.
No, that's exactly what Gordon looks like when you play as him. He's just jumping around, spamming interact on shit.
Well, because it was basically using Epiphany because in Gold Source, they managed to mod it at one point. The Gold Source, so you could see each other. And Gordon Freeman is constantly T-posing.
Yeah.
Like in Gold Source, he's always T-posing. Whenever he's moving around, you don't see it
My
yourself.
favorite part is right after he body slams and the Nova Prospect fence gets called into the back. His body unragdolls back to normal, and he gives the camera a knowing wink, like as he's passing through the door.
Yeah. One of my favorite part was when he hits the door and his head stretches up, and he looks like, "Who the fuck closed the door on me?" And my second favorite part was when they start drinking together.
Yeah, that part was like an original clip that was aired like long before the rest of it came out.
In 3, 2, 1. I'm seeing predictable phase arrays.
Yeah, they remade all of Zen, added an extra 2 hours to Zen. Are you serious?
Can they do it? That's the better question. When I first got Black Mesa, they didn't have Zen.
Yeah, because it wasn't done. It took them like an extra several years because modders
It's like
don't have
4.
they don't have the financial backing of major studios and shit.
Literally, Half-Life has the entirety of Valve, and it took them about as long as it took Black Mesa to make Zen as it took them to make just port over their fucking Half-Life 2 into VR.
That was a good 10
You know,
years of development.
it was like 10 fucking years, and all Black Mesa probably only took like what, 7 years, 8 years.
We're going on Valve time. For them, it's like 2 years in exchange for time.
They got so many projects they're always doing though. Like most people don't know about most Valve projects, but they got a lot of them.
The popular running theory is that G-Man's employers are just the developers at Valve.
Well, yeah.
And the events he has to set in motion are just the events of the game.
Porter
Cosmically
Brings just a layman
terrifying.
for devs.
Your entire life is forfeit and you only go through hard shit because we gotta meet our fucking quota of game cells.
I forget what happens when I flex my neck. When I flex my neck, between my Adam's apple and my neck muscle, there's no difference.
It's
My
like,
neck muscle extends
it's like
past the
the
Adam's apple
game
by twice
is a
the
mix
size.
of cosmic horror, first-person shooter, and what the fuck is happening to the water? Okay, pussy. Whoa. Base.
My favorite part in Half-Life 2 is just how they got a Vortigon on their side. Just no fucking reason.
I'm taking burn damage.
You remember the fucking Vortigon in Half-Life 2 that's just in a train, in like a train part, hiding with a human?
Literally right out of the gate at the train station, you can just see one behind a fence sweeping up some trash.
Vortigons are like really weird. They're like cavemen. It's not like they try to be, they just act like cavemen. Like, what does this do?
Eh. Eh.
Shoot it aside.
Eh. The game starts now.
Not until you get the crowbar does the game start.
I never thought I'd see a resonance cascade.
I love the fucking music from Black Mesa. It's so good.
By Schrodinger's cat. He's alive.
Is he gonna stand up? Oh no.
Thank God for that.
Please.
Jump quick. Don't phase out. Jump.
I couldn't jump. There was ceiling there. I would just.
You could crouch jump.
And let someone know that we're stranded down
It doesn't work
Oh,
now.
sorry.
How Source works is when you click finish something, you stay in that exact same position. So you could crouch jump and land on top of the head after you stood up.
You'll need me for the retinal scanner. I'm sure the rest of the science team will gladly help you. And for God's sakes, keep that suit on until you're in the clear. You hear me?
There is no clear.
Keep that suit on until you're in the clear. You hear me?
I already know
You're
you
right.
the fucking voice lines.
They retconned the retcon. Kleiner and Eli didn't exist until Half-Life 2, and the fact they found the voice actors to replace those specific scientists with them is just so good. I am leaving goodbye. Gordon now has several cuts of shards of glass on his scalp. Ow.
He literally gets survived getting hit by a fucking tank. I don't think it matters.
He's a walking pile of broken bones held together by morphine and titanium suit plating.
Yeah. Well, it's more of a radiation suit than anything. It's a high-tech rad suit. Is what it is.
You don't have to cause their deaths. Their deaths are now accidental and therefore not your fault. You're welcome. I have saved your life from a life of guilt. Because normally to fucking open the door, you would have to activate the elevator, which inadvertently causes them to crash. So
You
by
crash
doing
anyways,
that,
though.
they crash anyway, but it's not your fault.
This
Oh, I'm
is like
sorry.
right in front of you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want to fuck around?
Wanna fuck around and find out?
Bully a man with no crowbar, huh?
We're supposed to bring the guard with you.
Who cares?
It's so funny how casually you're doing this.
Yeah, fuck you guys. I'm out of here. So it's cosmic horror, but you play as a guy in an orange-ass piece of armor, wielding a crowbar.
5 hits with a crowbar to kill. Huh. It's quite a bit. So it does what, 20 damage? Because I know zombies got like 100. Got about as much health as you do.
Congratulations, we'll use this for long-range encounters, at least until we get the crossbow. and the revolver, and the fucking
Assault rifle.
glue-on gun, and the Tau cannon. Literally everything else is this gun's job, but better.
Except the shotgun.
And the SMG.
Pistol
We don't
DPS is
refer to-
always good though.
We don't refer to guns by their designated make and model. We refer to them by what type they are. Because that's a lot easier.
That's just typical Valve though.
That's what I do.
You don't know what a gun's called.
This is a gun. You know, it does gun things.
The only one that's ever talked about is the MP5. But it's not even called MP5. It's called I think it's called like the old style SMG or something like that. Like an old SMG.
Yeah.
I like how shiny everything is. This uses Unity, doesn't it? Fuck
No.
does this use? This is way shinier than Half-Life 2. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Found I.
They use different textures. What?
It's still shinier.
Yeah. Because they use different texture.
Doesn't change the fact it's still better than Half-Life 2.
Yeah, it looks way better than Half-Life 2. Ah!
Because Half-Life 2 still uses the exact same graphics as Half-Life 1. They just have a different... They even use the exact same goddamn engine.
It's
It's
this
just an
game is
updated
remade
version of
using
the
this.
engine.
It's remade using the source engine. It doesn't use the same textures as Half-Life 2.
Thank God.
Ergo, they use different
I know
You're
we
black
should
now.
There's a security
But
officer.
You were white in my last playthrough. I
he
didn't-
was for me too. That's the funnier part.
Lead on,
I think they
good
added
sir.
this in when Zen came out, that that certain scientists can now be different. Because that was originally the same scientist in the start who says,
That's what we
"Hey,
needed in our video game. Race inclusivity.
Well, I think it just made that. I think it just added more randomization options for the fucking scientists that you find. Like this guy, almost all scientists that weren't like story related looked the exact fucking same.
It wasn't me being racist. I was just genuinely surprised they kept that detail from Half-Life 1 in. It did it there, too.
I think they just made it possible for randomized scientists. I think that's just a story related character.
I'm going to
It seems they
beat you
updated
to
quite a bit of shit with Zen. Also,
Oh,
I was pretty
no.
sure this looked fucking weird. And I was, oh god, you're a dick. But I was pretty sure the
Shut up,
graphics
dude.
look different because they're way shinier than they were before. And look, the HUD's different too. Notice that there are like lines in the middle of it.
Oh, I might have fucked up.
Also, how nice eyes reflect. Yeah, they updated the fucking engine, Koi. They improved it.
And the one thing I wish they kept. They made it so the shotgun is what you get at that guard station and office complex. And they changed
Yeah,
it to
you
the
get it
shot.
by saving the
Yeah.
security officer. I remember.
Do you know how much easier that made fucking We Got Hostiles?
Way easier. I remember.
Because now you're stuck with the fucking zoom all over the place recoil SMG, a pistol that is accurate but does dig for damage,
And a crowbar that does take
shotgun.
for damage.
so you can't even reach them anyway. Back then, you could just shoot the fuckers and they would die.
Well, if I remember correctly, you actually got the revolver from that when it got changed.
Yeah, that's why I miss it.
Yeah, it went from shotgun to revolver, but you know, it may be different now because since they updated this and they changed the character to what it's supposed to be now, do you think maybe they changed it back to what it was changed into as well now? Because it was originally shotgun, got turned into revolver, and that was because they had updated it for so long. So they may have changed it now. Because they've updated a bunch of shit. Like water reflections are better now. They used to be just really gloom. I don't know why they don't make that just slightly lower. Stop spamming E.
Man. No, that's how Gordon talks. He speaks in Morse code.
That's not Morse code. It's physically impossible to do Morse code because it won't let you press it fast. It won't make the noise fast.
Oh man.
Did you kill it? Those take
Yeah, I
2
mean,
crowbar hits beforehand, didn't they?
spooky jump scare. Oh,
But they definitely improved the graphics. And it seemed they updated a bunch of shit when they were adding in Zen. Do you remember the second time you do this? You're down one of these? Don't forget to do the early jump off. Wait, watch your right. You gotta do the early jump off to get the loot.
alright.
Should be not too bad. Give it 8 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. It's around 3 more seconds. About now. Max your fucking shield, you bitch. Also, isn't there another? That is a lot of ammo. You max out your ammo.
I saved you! And then it collapses anyway.
Why does it collapse? It's a better option. That's solid concrete and rebar. I mean, you may not think about it, considering it's just a platform, but you gotta understand, it takes like 1,500 pounds of force to break something like that. It is not easy to break by any means. You would need to drop a forklift from like 80 feet to break it. And that would just crack it. It would just severely damage it, knock off like an end of it, and you would still have the.
And I was all like,
Concrete's really strong depending on the kind of concrete you use, the mixture. Some concrete can even compare to like steel plate metals. And when made really thick and literally having steel inside of it, they get really strong. Damn, that got all the way over here. Isn't there a gnome in this map?
no.
What was the thing you got to take to the end?
It was a hat. You would get it at unforeseen consequences by going back to that gate you started the game at after the tram ride. It would be hitting on a pipe you would have to parkour to.
Oh yeah, I remember. You got to take it all the way to here, don't you?
It's a nice little foreshadowing as to how hard the challenge is when even parkouring onto that pipe is a bitch to do.
I got it first try. I remember that.
No, you gotta bring it all the way to Zen.
Then?
Yeah, you gotta bring it through the whole game. You have to carry a fucking bright purple hat.
You get like just an achievement for it, don't you?
You get a cutscene where Vortigaunt puts it on and an achievement.
Yeah. What's the achievement called? I don't remember.
I don't know, something stupid. Hats off to you or some
That's
shit.
it. That's it. I remember. It was hats off. That was the name of the achievement. Honestly,
Anxiety. The room.
yeah, I would say this would probably be the hardest place because this is like the only major parkour place you have.
No. Remember fucking surface tension and the cliff?
Oh, imagine trying to fight a helicopter and a tank with a hat in your hand.
No, after that, there's a scaffold that is broken into 3 pieces where you have to jump and sprint
I
several
remember
times.
because they zip down to you. I remember.
You
gotta
have to
press.
fucking throw the hat across the gap and pray it lands and doesn't roll off the cliff.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, fall into the hole.
This is the most delayed fucking explosive barrel I've ever seen in my life. It's supposed to take fucking 3 shots.
You hit
2 to
it
light
twice.
on fire, and then another to...
You hit it.
Okay, yeah,
You
I did
hit
do
it
it twice.
twice. You didn't hit it 3 times. You hit it twice.
There's a golden rule. Valve does things very well. It's like it introduces a thing, then it puts it right in front of you in order to notice it. Then it gives you a clear line view of it next to some enemies. You know what it does, you know how it works. Next thing you know, there's one on fire rolling right towards you, but now you know how it works, you can deal with it if you're fast enough. And they do this all the time. They slowly drip feed tutorials to you without making them tutorialize. They're very good at that.
My favorite thing about Valve is that I can't remember what it is, but it's just like isn't it like the shotgun where they give you the shotgun and there's just an enemy in front of you? It just states on the bottom, press left click to shoot one shots, press right click to shoot both shots. And you're just like, oh. Why did it sound like Windows XP turning off at the beginning? Is this different music though?
No.
I don't remember there being so much music in Black Mesa. You gonna turn on your flashlight?
No.
Just pitch black. Here he is. Let's see if they've made it into a revolver now.
Thanks. I owe you one. Here, let me get this open. I got some supplies in the back.
Oh, so shotgun. Check the table. Go back. Check the table.
And
No. I couldn't tell if there's something on it. Still shotgun. I mean, the shotgun in Black Mesa is really good. You got to admit that. It has a proper fucking fire HUD. You can easily tell where it's at, whether you're on point. You can't really do that with the
I
half-life
love
shotgun.
this setting. It's just auto crouch jumps you, so you don't even have to press the button. Oh, so good. I don't care. Can't waste the bullets.
I'm not good at these types of ones.
Mm.
Just let him jump in the water.
Approach.
He's
Face
running
of severe death.
He's running away. I think there's a third one in here.
It's like a lot of Valve's games are get from point A to point B, but shit happens along the way.
That's
And
just
that's
how
like
it
every
is.
level. Yeah.
Until you get a game that's just point A to wherever the fuck it takes you. Like Portal 2.
They just do it really well. You get to live.
He's just watching TV. Is that what he's doing?
There isn't even anything on. It's just static.
I mean, my dog would stare at static if it was bored enough.
No, I don't think I will. Fuck off.
What was that about wasting shotgun shots?
I don't see it.
On head
95 per spread.
95 volts per spread?
No,
Or
it's
health?
it cut off. It cut off the word percent by hitting the loading trigger. So it repeated the per and percent twice. Oh well.
Imagine you're just like a...
Oh well.
What are the guys called? They call hunters again? What are the really fast zombies called that like sprint at you on all fours?
Zombies.
That's just what they're zombies.
Yeah.
Blow his
Yeah,
brains
fast
out. Get his
zombies.
ammo.
I already
No
got enough.
witnesses. Kill him.
I have
Kill
max.
him.
I have max
Kill
ammo.
him. He's gonna
Oh,
die
yeah.
anyways.
Watch your head, Doc.
Wasn't there a board guard in here? 2 of them.
Like how they just like sit there in their version of a fucking T-pose.
I got a close steam. I forgot to do that.
Oh no, why you missed it? He's dead.
I told you he was gonna fucking die.
Yeah, but it was more funny this way.
Why didn't you kill it first? I know you could have.
Oh no, for the laughs.
So it's not funny enough to just blow your allies' brains out, but it is funny enough to
Yeah,
watch them
yeah,
get eaten by a
yeah,
trapped grenade for them.
and I made it anyway. Who cares?
You could have used him for target. Just to be a fucking meat shield.
Yeah, you summed up. Oh man, I guess you shouldn't have stood next to that, huh? Completely intended.
Why do Vorgons try and kill you? Are they trying to take over Earth?
Well, theories goes that they're enslaved by the Nile and the guy you fight at the end of the game.
Oh, that's right. That's the boss for the Zen DLC, right?
Yeah.
Don't we fight like the
Yes,
tentacles of it, and we blow it up, we nuke it, and the missile
and
silos?
since we freed him, they're like, yeah, we forgive you for the homies you slain, and we will help humanity and shit.
And then Half-Life 2 comes in, and the Combine show up, and the Vortigons get enslaved on top of the human race.
The funny part is,
they're two for all.
the writers for Half-Life 1 were already, like, planning out the existence of the Combine. So, like, I don't know, this was all made very well in mind of that happening, so it kind of leads into the other one pretty well.
Dude, fucking Vortigons are 0 for 2 for being enslaved. That's
Hey,
fucking great.
we're catching up. We're gonna be the best slaves.
Shut the fuck up. They got Gordon Freeman to deal with it. What I think it is I think the fucking G-Man just works for like some secret world government. And his whole job is just to make sure humans stay on top of the food chain. And that's about it. So when he sends Zen in, it's probably to
The game
fight against...
crashed. The game crashed.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I've never seen scratch that Black Mesa has crashed on me before.
No, there wasn't even a stutter or a pause. It just unceremoniously died.
It just quit.
No, we're going back in.
I just see myself in widescreen.
I gotta send him a message. I'm gonna shoot him in the face.
Did you
No.
save any chance, or are we gonna have to go back a bit?
It should be autosaves.
I remember autosaves weren't the best.
Oh. I was kind of sworking through Black Mesa pretty good.
Did you hear something?
No. Did you hear something? No. Immediately unloads a bullet. Will it happen again? I need to shoot your friend. Go away.
Stay away from the door this time. Don't try just bolting in. I think it was
Friend! Yeah.
Did it crash? I don't think you hit it.
I opened the door, started loading my shotgun, and it crashed.
It couldn't handle the fog and the shotgun reload.
Cringe. I require supplies. Thank you.
You want to kill her?
Debating.
She's just sitting there. She's gonna freeze to death. That lab coat will do jack for body temp.
I left the fucking door open. She can leave.
Yeah, but you know what's back there? A bunch of zombies that you left.
She could leave.
And what, go 5 feet?
Yeah.
You know, don't forget there are headcrabs in there too. They will get over that barrier. I sometimes forget how stupid these guys are. Gold squids?
Bull squids, yeah.
They're basically just big dogs, aren't they?
They charge you like a bull, except, they squid.
Yeah, but they just chill. Like, they'll just chill and they'll just gnaw on something for like hours at a time, just out of enjoyment. Like, they're basically just a dog eating a bone. And stream kicked me out. I'm back in.
Maybe.
You know, I'd much rather prefer this over the fucking Half-Life 1 original version where it just goes back and forth constantly. You gotta wait for it.
Crash again. Oh,
I don't think it's ever crashed this much before.
no.
Because last time we did this, we made it all the way to Zen without any crashes. We beat the entire game without a single one. I think it's just this fucking room. That's it. But quick thing, the Thumpers are part of the Nihilus, isn't it?
Motivation. Dying.
Remember, as long as we get out of this room, things should ease up. Probably until the helicopter shows up.
Okay.
You could also load over particles, because I'm pretty sure that's what's fucking you. Because you got
I
that
could just.
fog, you got the cold fog being constantly rendered alongside the reflective.
I could just fucking just skip this chapter.
Yeah, problem about that. You start off with specified gear, so all the good shit you've gotten, you won't have.
Alright.
So just resume. Go to options. No, 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 no. Go to options. Go to fucking options. Go to video. Down, down. Way too fast. Dynamic shadow quality. Lower that down to medium. Down to. I mean, normal. That's good. Scroll down a bit more.
I understand what it is. It's water reflections.
It isn't. It's God rays. So it's God rays and light quality. Because God rays is like fog and stuff like that. Lower God rays, Koi. That's the thing that's really gonna crash you. I'll just resume. Back. Save game. There's a save game tab. Oh, there you go.
No, I made an autosave in the freezer. We're just gonna load up that.
Alright. This should lower the fog, making it easier.
What? I don't remember setting those settings to that. I think it just defaulted my settings to the
It
ones that would
did.
make it crash. Now this is the canon timeline.
You know, funniest thing about this, if you set all the settings to low, it's just Half-Life 1. That's the funnier part. You set
Peak
all the lowest
efficiency.
settings, it looks eerily similar to Half-Life 1.
Look at my fucking frame rate. It's like just at 154.
That's because God Race is a tanky piece of shit. I mean, it makes everything look
200
so
FPS.
nice. Because what God Rays does is it adds in like physical reflections. So if you look in a reflection with high
Yeah.
God Rays, it'll look like a mirror. And lighting also affects things like fog and stuff like that. But you just lowered God Rays, so fog is still here.
It
Yeah,
crashed again.
because you didn't change lighting.
Okay.
How about we just don't use the grenade? Because I'm pretty sure.
How about we just turn everything to low?
Sure, buddy.
The
I'm pretty sure.
optimization playthrough. You remember the first part of this episode? It's never gonna look like that again.
Well, we can just turn it back up to max once we leave the freezer, because it's
Just
just a
wanna
fucking
beat the
freezer.
fucking freezer.
Which is why I'm telling you just not to use the grenade, because it's the grenade that keeps on crashing you.
We do need V-Sync at least.
Turn on lens flare too. I'll tell you the things that are important. You want lens flare, chromatic. Turn on lens flare. Chromatic aberration is useful too. You want both of those on. I'll tell you what to turn off. Turn off motion blur. Keep that on. Turn off motion blur. Now go to overall quality and lower that to low. It's
Potato.
Jesus Christ, it's gonna be horrible.
Oh, now you know it's working.
It's making so much noise. Max out brightness real quick. Quick, go all the way to the bottom. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Turn on that last thing. You'll
No,
understand. You'll understand. Do it.
no. Sorry, not canon.
Do it.
Not
Do it.
canon.
Do it. Do it.
And one
Do
last
it.
bit of insurance. We just skip the fucking freezer.
You're gonna have fucking nothing.
Potato graphics. Potato graphics.
I think you just have a crowbar and the pistol. I don't think you have the shotgun when you do this.
Who cares?
I don't think you got any ammo either. I
You
think
don't
you got
even
like
use
30.
the shotgun in this chapter.
Oh, why is it so break? Why is it broke? Is this broken for you too?
Oh god, let me just restart the stream.
What the fuck's going on? Why is it? It looked worse than when you were in high def. Okay, that's better. Now, does
Dude,
this not look like Half-Life 1 to you?
No, it looks better.
It looks just like a more smooth version of Half-Life 1, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is fine. I don't even mind it. You can clearly see that reads in case of fire, break glass.
No,
All that extra shit is just unnecessary.
Boy, if you notice that the oh yeah, I remember this.
No, don't pull this out. I need to shoot. Hello. He's like, oh, let me stare at the pineapple.
We go back.
Hold
Turn
on.
around. Look at the other side of this pillar, to the left. Look at that picture on the pillar. Just get close to it.
Who
It's
cares? We don't
completely
need
illegible.
I don't need the shield.
If only texture quality was turned up to medium and not fucking potato.
Nah, man. Look, we're getting a sturdy. We're somehow getting. I think the problem was that for some reason in the freezer, it was just running frames way too fucking high.
Well, that would be fixed with VSync, and we have VSync active, so.
What do you mean? This is beautiful.
Well, the reason why is because VSync syncs your monitor refresh rate and the game refresh rate, meaning no matter what speed your monitor can run at, the game would run at your monitor speed rather than the back speed instead. Your monitor has probably a 50 or 60 FPS, meaning the game would be running
10 years of
50,
development,
60.
and it's just him being stuck on a wall.
I mean, original Half-Life, you just jump over shit. Prop plopping is still a thing in Half-Life 2, isn't it?
Everything's just remade using the engine. So
They've used the same exact engine since like 96 or 95.
yeah, they've just
been updating it. That's it. It's like Unity. It's like Unity. Unity's been out since like 2006, and it's been in constant use since then. It's just you have different Unity versions. If you go back to the original Unity, it looked way worse. Well, I'm fairly certain this doesn't run in Source. Because Source can't run shit like that. It has a different particle rendering. It doesn't run so smooth. It doesn't like have such smooth graphics. Source just doesn't run shit that way. which is why I think this was running in Unity instead, or like something similar. Let me just check. I'll fucking Google it.
Ouch.
What? What's it? Oh, what engine was Black?
Damn, lads, might need to turn the difficulty down.
It actually uses Source. Why the fuck does it look so different than everything else Valve's come out with Source? Okay, so it doesn't require original Source now. It has built-in graphics, Koi. It used to run in Source.
Oh man, the precious seconds you wasted fucking healing yourself? Worthless. Who cares? Here, just let me fucking dip my balls in the soda dispenser.
And it, by the way, it's Source 2. It's different than original Source. That's why it looks fucking different. Because it's Source 2 from 2015.
Low res thumb. Low res thumb.
I like glove texture. Double shot. It takes 2 shots to kill him. Also, this is much better than Half-Life Shotgun, because Half-Life Shotgun only holds 2 in a mag. Wait, no, it holds 6 in a mag. Doesn't it? I don't remember. That's explosive. What are you doing?
Fucking around.
I fucking work tonight.
And the cooch.
I managed to get a piece of cardboard from a blanket I bought, and I've been keeping my power cord over top of that since it's better than the fucking carpet.
Wait.
Why is his eyes clipping in through his skin?
It looks good until you get close. It's the most cursed shit ever.
What is that stench?
Box. Box is gone.
Rescued at last. Thank God you're here.
You know the weird part, Coy, that I use my jacket for? My jacket has a mask attached to it, but because it's a warm fabric, I use it as like a scarf,
It's
where I
probably safer
bunch it up
here.
by flipping it in, and I use it as a scarf. I wear it like this.
I might actually get 100 health.
No, you won't. Who unloads 5 fucking rounds?
Give me your
Does anyone have a
juice,
cell
dude.
phone I could borrow?
Those don't exist! This game takes place in the 1980s!
We're on your
What?
side.
Half-Life 1.
What are you doing?
No, what about what doesn't exist?
He asked for a cell phone.
They do. And actually, cell phones were made back in the 80s, and they already had some form of mobile telecommunications that's used by the government. The government always has stuff before producers have them, boy. Like, government, you know, touchscreens, the government had them before iPhone came out with them. They were just government issue. It's like that
No,
with most
my knowledge
engines.
of things that came out then is just so bad. I'm like, you guys didn't have jelly beans. Meanwhile, jelly beans were made in like 18 whatever the fuck.
They were made in like, I think they were made in like 1908,
Back when fucking
1918.
cowboys were around. That's how
Yeah,
far back it was.
well, cowboys were around from 1820 to 1880, and that was Wild West time. I think it was like no, it was like it was early 1800s to mid 1800s. Wild West. Like
Man, you're back.
1776. 1776 was a part of the Wild West, if I remember correctly.
You know what I do like about the
Wild
SMG?
West is good 100 years or so.
It's that you could for soldiers you just kind of force it over their head and it works.
Hey, Clay, do you want to know how humans think? How weird it is how humans think and come up with new shit? We took 200 years to go from we took the equivalent of like 3,000 years to have some semblance of tools. Like humans existed 80,000 years ago, and only around 10, 12,000 years ago did we start picking up tools and using them. So there was a good 60,000 years of humans just not using tools, and what semblance of before humans wasn't using tools. Was it 10,000? I think it was like 10,000 years ago. And like cold era weapons, which is like swords, bows, stuff like that. They weren't used until maybe like 1800 BC or something like that. It was like no, it was like yeah, it was like 4000 BC or something like that. Where you had some semblance of like actual like metallic weapon. And we literally got it. So it took us 200 years to go from copper swords to steel swords, and 50 years to go from steel swords to nuclear bullets.
You missed that, but that was the smoothest I've
I
ever
was
done this
watching it.
mission. I gunned him down, tossed 2 to go here, and while the thing was done, I waited until it was just enough for me to run down and throw a grenade underneath it. And it
Yeah, I know. I was
worked.
watching Boy.
That was fucking based.
But I understand the
Me
fact that
versus the entirety of the U.S. military.
if you think the missile arms we have currently are terrifying, you gotta think about the fact in the fucking what was it? I think it was in the 90s, 1990s. We had the ability to make a low flying hypersonic ramjet that literally spreads nuclear radiation as it flies by, dropping around, I think it was 18 arms, and then the one that was at the front, which would detonate upon impact. So it drops basically the equivalent of 18 nuclear bombs, all flying at low speed, blasting eardrums, shattering organs, flying at a low speed, practically impossible to intercept from a large range. Unless you're using a parabola, which isn't really possible for something that can just change mid-movement. It doesn't even use rocket fuel because it uses the heat from the ramjet, which was produced by the unprotected core. So it just flies down, spreading radiation, shattering organs, eardrums, dropping miniature suns every city, tilting directions, killing forests, causing high amounts of radiation. And do you know why it wasn't used? It was deemed too provocative and would start a U.S. Russian conflict. Yeah, they were afraid of starting a war while dropping 20 fucking missiles and leveling entire populations and wildlife.
Pointing the gun at you! You should be taking damage. This is not the case.
That's why you're supposed to use cover, dipshit. Even I know this, and I'm not even a Half-Life player.
No one asked.
You don't need to ask. I'll give you the answer anyways.
Shut up. Please.
Most part, you have no fucking shield. Now you have no health.
These guys really. Call these guys. They can replace.
It's because they have better AI. This is Black Mesa. Everything's better. Even the AI. You gotta preemptively shoot and they'll annihilate.
God, the spread on this gun is just so fucking bad. You have to shove it up a fucker's nose for it to be accurate.
Use the pistol. It kills him in like 4 hits.
Lord.
Use the pistol.
Like
it does more damage per second. has a much larger, like,
I will
you
crouch
need like
and make
12
myself a
shots to
smaller
kill a person with
target.
a. Like, the pistol isn't worse than this gun. It has higher DPS. It kills things faster. This isn't a joke. The pistol is more effective in both close and long range than the SMG. The SMG may unload more rounds, but it has less DPS, which means it does less damage per second.
It's like a movie. We're kind of just slowly going right, shooting them, and they're just dying. You guys are really good at throwing grenades. Ignore that
Fun. They
one.
were fucking crack shots. They could hit a. They could. I imagine they could just toss a grenade half court, or maybe even full court, and land it right in the hoop. Oh, that was a close one. I mean, there have been so many humans. The idea of just new thought isn't really a possibility. Somebody's already had your thought. Like, new idea isn't a thing.
I forgot that the solution, because there's not a lot of cover besides that door for this section, is just to duck walk so the guys on the bottom don't shoot you.
Yeah. They'll still shoot you, but it'll be harder with the fucking. Because for some reason they think the fence is solid sometimes until you shoot at them. But oh yeah. By the way, about that rocket I was talking about. Yeah, Vladimir Putin's been trying to make it.
Based. Can't wait to die.
Yeah, I think he was trying to make it 3 years ago, 4 years ago. It's
Literally,
in production.
at this point.
Modern nuclear armaments are around 6 times more effective than they were back then. So it may not be too considered provocative anymore, and maybe even a lethal threat. It's really good at causing terror, leveling.
I know the way provocative is used in the sense I know about that, but oh my god, that missile's so fucking hot. Oh.
Dude, they literally use so basically, a nuclear core causes immense amount of heat, so it has to be kept in a lead lid so the ions don't escape it. The idea behind this missile working is that it's just not covered. So the heat spreads out, so there's an oxygen filter. And then that gets heated up by the nuclear core, and then it busts out the backside. So it's basically just a high pressure, completely open nuclear environment where it just pushes out the fucking energized,
Brain hurt.
supercharged
Stop.
air. Like it's
We've been
good
on
at just.
tangent too long. Need brain coolant.
It's
Must
like
drink
way
soda.
cheaper to make than just a typical cruise missile because there's no need for fuel. Because the nuclear, because the fucking core itself is the fuel. Why are you killing things?
Shut up.
At least they haven't started bombing you yet. There's the bombing. You missed the box.
The screaming tactic has worked. He has stopped talking about the tangent I didn't even ask about. Yes! Yes! Freedom! Take me, God! What?
You missed it horribly.
I'll show you missed horribly. Wait, where am I? No, I need you to
You're on the side.
jump, you grab it. It's a reach out with your stumpy gloved hands and grab the fucking.
You're left.
How about I don't? Okay, bye.
You can shoot
Fuck you. You want no? Cock shots for both of you.
McCoy, what's your favorite gun?
Revolver.
You know, there's one problem with the revolver. It has so much kick that only somebody who trains their body regularly can use a revolver. In fact, people who are specifically used to firing guns cannot fire a revolver if they haven't worked out specifically, like grip strength and stuff like that, because the revolver would literally dislocate your finger. Most revolvers, like a 500 Bone Crusher, the reason why it was never used was simply because the fact that it wasn't just dislocating fingers, it was straight up just cracking people's wrists, just breaking the bone because they didn't have enough muscle to hold it. If you have a gun, the purpose of a gun is so anybody can use it, but these could only be used mostly by trained military personnel and veterans, people who kept their body in shape, or bodybuilders and stuff like that.
I didn't want
Like-
to hear him say, "You're the reason it was wrong, right?" And I'm like, "No." Shoots him in
No,
the
no,
face.
every gun is useful in their own way.
I'm not talking about that, though.
Tell me a caliber.
Why? I
Tell me a caliber.
don't want it.
Do it.
I'm good.
Do it.
I appreciate it. I don't want to.
Do it. Not even your favorite one. Just state a random caliber.
The best part is that worked, and it worked kind of well, too.
It did. But you lost like 20 armor.
What? No, I didn't. What are you talking about?
You would have been maxed.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you think is
Fuck
the most?
you.
What do you think is the most common round?
You know my favorite caliber, 200 Nitro Express.
What do you use? Elephant guns?
Yes.
The sole purpose of that is to kill very large animal in very tough height.
Good. Geneva Convention violated.
A Geneva Convention violation is more on craziest shit. A blank. Shotgun blanks are the most lethal shit you'll ever
Please,
see.
God, put a disclaimer saying I'm half asleep during this.
But you know something funny? 10 gauge and 12 gauge shotgun blanks. 10 gauge are actually larger. I mean, have more pellets in them than 12 gauge.
Hate it.
No, but their blanks can actually just obliterate a person's skull if point blank. Like a literal human skull would be obliterated, just ground to dust. You could literally shatter. You could kill a person with a blank if it's most shotguns. Like if you put it right up against them, it's still lethal. Which is why firearm safety dictates no matter what the reason, you never point a gun at a person, regardless of whether it's blanks, unless you're really intending to kill them. Which is the problem most firearms experts have with actors. Because you may think that like sound effects are added, but they do shoot blanks. Like they shoot blanks, and they're just as loud as real guns. And the reason why blanks are lethal is because you pick a gun, you take a bullet, and you fill it with gunpowder, and then at the very end you put a bullet that's tightly cased in there. It's slightly in, so if you stick it upside down, the bullet's weighed in. The back is packed with gunpowder, so the bullet can't move with a seal ring. There's this metal rod, there's this tiny little metal dip at the end, and what happens is it's slightly pushed out. So it sticks slightly out. So the hair hits that thing and clips into the actual gunpowder. And when shot at such high speeds, the hot rod strikes the gunpowder, igniting it when it hits it at high speeds. Because it's a flint, so it drags against the metal and it ignites and causes a spark inside, which causes all the gunpowder packed inside the bullet to fire the metal piece at the end.
What brought this on, man? I didn't even ask for this. You made me nearly fall asleep so hard I literally fell into the acid, a thing I never do at this part, because my eyes were drooping so fucking hard.
Hey, Koi, what do you think is the most effective bullet type?
He won't stop, God help me.
What do you think is the most effective bullet type? I'm
The
curious.
good one.
Just data type. Hollow point, solid, soft point.
Please, God, just take me.
Just tell me one.
You know, back in we got hostiles. I haven't yelled in a long time, and I forgot how fucking deep and hard it is to yell for me.
Will you forget you yelled at me yesterday?
No, that was today, and that was me raising my voice. And
Oh, you're right.
yelling
It was fucking today, and you were yelling at me.
No, I raised my voice. Raising my voice and
Don't
yelling
you
and
forget you had a
cursing your
mental
name.
breakdown and were literally yelling at me.
Hey, it was like once a day. You're gonna have to be more specific.
You just
Kool-Aid.
don't even get out. Just kill yourself. You have no fucking shit. Just die.
Yeah, just soak it in.
Did I fucking insta kill you when you got dropped on?
No.
But
Don't care, Rebecca.
solid bullets when used with a rifle do not care about your body armor.
Mental breakdowns like every day. You're gonna have to be more specific.
Basically, it's this. What a solid point is it's a normal bullet. But what most people don't know is that bullets are typically rounds with a hollow point in the center that's also packed with gunpowder. They're twisted a bit, so they got this little bit in the inside, which causes it to. They're weighted on the ends, which causes it to spin. It adds a spin to it. That's how a normal bullet works. A solid is just this pure solid piece of metal, just this tiny, like slightly rod shaped pointed piece inside the bullet. It's larger than normal. And the closest thing to resemble to it is an arrow. And an arrow does not care about body armor, which is why they're made that way. You could have the best body armor you could get, and a solid point would just go right through it. It doesn't matter if it's plated, if it's Kevlar, if it's a solid point, you're fucking dead. It doesn't matter if you're even using you could use a 308 solid point and just tap right through like solid point. Tap straight through fucking tier 4 armor. Or what's it fucking called? I think it's called like grade 4. But the reason why they're not used in the military is because they cost more, like way more. If you were to outfit your entire team with them, and if you outfit your entire team with solid points, what would be the purpose since most soldiers don't even use body armor? They don't. They don't. It's too expensive. They won't give it to them. Most special operations like Marine, like infantrymen, they don't get really such kind of body armor. They just wear fatigues. And it's actually kind of sad because they're the ones that die the most often. They're also the ones that are mostly deployed. They're also the most numerous kind of troop we have. I think an army standing around 8.3 million is what we currently have employed. Yeah, so this guy here, he's a part of the Nihilists, isn't he? Boy. Boy. Jesus.
Chase the noise. Chase the noise.
You gotta stand still.
Bullshit. You're telling me my footsteps are louder than an explosion?
No, but it doesn't lose aggro on you unless you're standing still, because it would just stay on you. Koi, what would you do if you hear a noise behind you and you're in the middle of strangling a person to death? I'm pretty sure you would continue to strangle the person to death.
Suddenly worry about the explosion that happened like right next to me. That would be
Because
a
you
lot more
stood
important.
still through it, blasted it. Because you blasted it while you're standing still, not trying to run away.
We can't even use this argument because this is a fucking alien with a different thought process and pattern than us. It wouldn't apply.
Actually, you do realize every human has a different thought process and pattern.
This is an alien, you funny fuck.
And I was good enough to figure out exactly how the AI fucking worked. What was that enemy again? In DRG, the haunted guy. I figured out his AI within 2 minutes of seeing him. You think I can't figure out how AIs work?
think I'd be impressed at you looking at that.
Dude, I literally
I'm
explained it
unimpressed
within
with myself every day. You're small potatoes.
a neat fact. You can actually run a computer on a potato.
Yeah.
A small one, but you can still do it.
Oh.
Potatoes have, I believe, 12 volts output electricity. No, it's like 8 volts. I think it's actually, what was it again? Was it an eighth of a volt? How many volts does a potato produce? I forget exactly how much it is. How many volts does
Yeah, I could use some health.
a potato?
Sure.
Yeah, so I was right. It's 0.8. I was close. It was the number 8, but I was off. Which, oh my god, Coy, I just realized something. A phone charger only uses like 4 volts. Using 5 potatoes, you could charge your phone.
Uh-oh.
Close. Here we go.
Sure.
Power output 12 volts.
This is not the most dangerous room ever. I have only 9 health and it's full of head crabs.
5. My C-type charger has just as much volts used to start a fucking car.
Wow. A bit more urgency, Gordon. I may be fighting for my life here.
Okay, a potato battery can produce only about 1.2 volts of energy.
It was at 7-Eleven and I was like, damn, that's where I went for breakfast this morning.
Let me see how long a potato battery charges, because I may just make a potato battery. How? This would be a good thing to make. Does a potato Here we go.
We did it, guys! We finally found a healing station. Good job.
2 to 5 days.
2 to 5 days to charge potato battery phone. Yeah. I knew that in my repertoire of useless information stuck in my head. Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm crazy enough that I might actually try this. Just for the lulz.
Okay. Won't be the weirdest thing people have done with potatoes.
They ran Portal 2 on a potato.
Yeah.
To prove a point. That's how I originally knew about potato batteries. They ran Portal 2 on a potato to prove a point that a potato could power GLaDOS.
Oh. Sure. Alright. Sure. Give. I won. Hello. Oh, they kick their legs when they're sleeping. You little bean. Bombs them to hell.
I can actually
Hey.
do this. This is absurdly simple.
Okay, as long as I... Fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. As long as I land in the acid, I should be fine.
Let me figure out how many volts can a zinc plate attach to. Just use the zinc, right? Yeah, okay, zinc. How many volts?
I hope no trouble.
Celebrate.
Strip hole.
Expect me to do so.
So I should mention that I have like no ammunition for long range. Yeah, that works. The shotgun. Long range sniper.
This is my hiding spot. I'm not moving until the situation is drastically improved. Now go away, and don't tell anyone I'm here.
Okay, Mark. I have more detail in my fingers than you have on your entire fucking face, my guy. Present!
Hmm.
Excellent. Someone has restored all power.
We're getting there, man. We're gonna beat the whole thing. All of it.
I could definitely do this. It doesn't seem that hard. It seems to need a chemical reaction, because when a chemical reaction happens, ones are let off, which is why the battery works. I don't even need an article to know that. The reason why hydrogen peroxide. So a good method, I'm noticing the best method it could possibly be used uh, is what's it called? Is it vinegar? That's a good song. So salt water. So I believe 2 tablespoons of salt mixed in the water to an 8 ounce water. Some hydrogen peroxide into it, probably 50 milliliters. Hey, Koi,
Don't you see I'm riding the high of one of the best songs in the soundtrack?
I'm making a battery when I get paid.
You waste your time on such silly fucking things.
Well, it's gonna be mixed between with salt water, hydrogen peroxide.
You could buy so many good things instead of it.
It would take like $5, all honesty. It'd just be a neat trick.
Where is my Excalibur?
What, the revolver? Yeah.
Oh. Jesus,
You'll never
so
get any other shots for it. Like,
You're never
ever.
gonna find ammo for it. Fuck you.
Like, ever. That's the funnier part. What you have now is what you got.
I'm more impressed with the fact I made it through fucking Blast Pit at one point with 7 health and 5 shield. What a fucking amazing idea. Listen, there's playing sloppy and then there's doing the dumb shit I do. And I do things intentionally bad and deranged for laughs. So the fact that I managed that is genuinely impressive. Yeah, well, joke's on you. I'm gonna just call it Progate. Progate remote. Alright. Hey, you just got done with a set of levels that was go to places to turn things on to kill a big thing, right? Well, what if you did it again? Fucking power up. Ugh. It's a good level, but it's a good chapter. It's just the same thing. Again. Okay. I can see why people skip this chapter by climbing on landmines. Oh, fuck am I? Yeah, fuck you. No thanks, bro. Fuck. Oh, come on, you fucking asked for that. You're cock blocked too. Great minds are fucked alike. Hello?
I can't believe I'm learning chemistry, which I never bothered taking in high school. So I can make a fucking battery.
If you can get the power on, that train down there will take us to the surface. Wouldn't trust myself.
Okay, so you're telling me you would rather... So Gordon can
Mm-hmm.
hold like 96 fucking shells. Shotgun, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yet the bastard can only muster enough space for fucking 24 revolver rounds.
You know how large revolver rounds are?
Looks like you can handle this one.
They're kind of chunky. You know how big shotgun shells are? Bigger than that?
They aren't.
What are you fucking talking about?
Revolver rounds are around 15% larger. Not to mention they have to be stored differently considering they're just bullets. And you have to store bullets safely so they don't explode if hit something. Because if you throw a bullet at the proper angle at the ground fast enough, it is possible to set up a bullet without using a gun. Because if you hit it at just the right spot, the flint would strike, and it will set off the bullet.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's actually pretty edutainmental.
Do you know why 3D printers can produce actual firearms?
Because they're good at it.
No, because the fact that the problem with it is the heat. And the plastics used through 3D printers do have the structural integrity and heat necessary to deal with the force necessary. The force outputted by a bullet. Since, in fact, some 3D printed weapons are even arguably better than their original versions, since there aren't the required position. Since there's a difference to a small bit. A big problem with 3D printed firearms, though, is that they don't have a serial number or a creation stamp. Hence, they're called, by more modern terms, as ghost guns. Since they come from nowhere and nobody knows where they came from. Not to mention, they're easy to get rid of since they're just made of plastic. You can just make a second one. They're easy to get rid of, easy to make. You just need the schematics, which some people have their hands on. I mean, you find a weird person in 4chan, you could probably get some whole 3D printing schematics for an AK-47. I have a number of them, I just don't bother you. Well, I used to have a number of them. They were on a flash drive I had. Long story, I don't want to talk. The internet was a different place back then. For the most part, nobody really cared since 3D printers weren't common use and there were like tens of thousands of dollars that nobody could get their hands on at the time, besides big corpos, and so it was pretty easy to track where they came from. It's not really the case anymore, hence they're really frowned to have. Not to mention how fucking dangerous they are. Because you don't need a gun license to purchase ammunition. You just need a gun license to purchase a gun. A neat fact. You do have to be over 18 to purchase ammunition, though. But you typically won't be red flagged for anything unless you look really suspicious if you're just getting ammo. You can still get a hold of them. There's a few posts on 4chan, if you really know where to look, that still have the schematics. In fact, if you're good enough, you can make your own guns through 3D printing. In fact, if you just look at a gun schematic, you can kind of eyeball it. You can even look up the size of parts of a gun. Well, that would definitely put you on a list. It is possible to still get the schematic.
Why are you talking about this when you're recording for a YouTube video?
I mean, I'm busy reading chemistry, so I'm not really thinking about what I'm saying.
Man, you know, fix that by editing it out.
Why would I? I'm too lazy for that. In fact, Kat's already modified her you remember Kat modified her what, Mom? I know. Love you. Kat modified her PSI. What the fuck are they called? Airsoft. That's right. She modified airsoft guns. In fact, you can completely make airsoft guns from scratch for the most part. Specific parts have to be made of metal, but you can just order those. Like the hammer block, that definitely has to be metal when you 3D print it. But the hammer block, the barrel, those have to be 3D. Those have to be metal. But those are easy to get a hold of because they're just replacement parts. Hence, you don't need a. You could just get a gun license for it too, since those parts on. Well, every gun part has a serial number on it. But problem about that is that you could just make the barrel denser using plastic, using it and use different kinds of plastic to still do it. So technically, you don't even need those parts. That you could just modify the gun to a small extent, which is why 3D printed guns are slightly different compared to their real counterparts. Some are better, some are worse, some are just as good, some are even more versatile. I mean, it's for the most part a trade-off. Like I think it's called a Vector. I think it's called like Vector 50C or something like that. It's one of the most effective 3D printed firearms you can get because how it works is it has a blowback system. When the gun fires, the mag, like the bullet locks down and it slides down when the bullet's missing, which slots in the next bullet to reduces a large portion of the tech. Hence, it's one of the most common effective SMGs ever made, because most SMGs have an extremely large amount of recoil just due to the amount of rate of fire and how much gunpowder is in the bullets. But that gun has little to absolutely no recoil. You won't even really fucking feel it. If you weren't paying attention, you wouldn't notice the recoil. Simply because all the recoils lock back into saying this bolt back. In fact, it's one of the few guns that can be made purely almost the exact same. But, I mean, what shit's easy to get that's military grade? You know what I mean? I know a guy who has it. Don't know if he still has it. He did have it. He said he found it off 4chan, which doesn't surprise me considering I've seen so many on it. You can find everything on 4chan, especially illegal shit. It's one of the few places you can post whatever the fuck you want without getting it removed. In fact, the file download, the MediaFire download for the Twitch log is still in there. If you know computers, you can find just about anything. I don't own a 3D printer though. It doesn't interest me. It's also not useful for me. If I got it, I would just make it with trinkets, cup holders, shit like that. And I would actually put to use this 3D maker I have.
You better go on without me.
Okay.
interesting fact that I was reading. You know what? Let's see what's on 4chan at the moment. Let's see what's most recent in 4chan. Wait, did it get shut down? No, it didn't. It's still here. Let's see.
Hey, it's Freeman, right? Hold up a sec. One of your scientist pals said they give you a message. You're supposed to take this old rail system up to some sort of satellite delivery rocket or something. I don't know where it is exactly. The old guy was so worried about getting out alive, he didn't think to stop and tell me. Anyway, the main thing is, the military aborted the
Look at
launch.
4chan's
So they
great.
couldn't find the rocket.
I'm reading these guys just shit talk a post out of them.
Perhaps they were out of control or lost themselves.
Well, this guy talking about gun control. Fucking 4chan's great. Here's this one. Agnotism is literally impossible. Lol, what? Is there a god? Don't care. It's literally that simple. How is this concept so hard as to be literally impossible for you?
Yeah. It took a bit to click on account of my brain being a wet sponge, but
Well, this thing, it is a piece of shit. It's basically it's a helicopter that has rotating blades. Well, it's slightly easier to fly. There is a big problem with it. If air currents don't follow through, you'll start tilting forward and falling. It does have stabilization, but due to weight, which causes it to rock back if it tilts forward too far. But this makes lots of aero maneuvers impossible. It also removes the ability to turn fast. It acts more like a plane rather than a helicopter. It's fucking stupid. Also, while it is faster than a normal helicopter, that's only in linear motion. It would only be particularly useful for medevacs and for National Guard dropping water on fires. It actually has very little military purpose. It's one of the easiest things to knock out of the sky. Man, fucking 4chan's great. These guys actually know what they're talking about. Hell yeah, Environmental Security Force win. We're done hugging trees. Now you're getting beaten with them instead. It's like a guy made an engine out of fucking wood. Oh Jesus, this is 4chan is great. I love 4chan. Uh.
oh, they chop off a bit of fucking honor rail. Everyone loves him for it. But oh, heaven forbid we make fucking surface tension any shorter. No, it needs to be 3 hours long. It adds to the experience. Fucking shoot me.
What?
Surface tension is like the longest chapter by far of Half-Life 1. and I just find it funny that they made honor rail.
Jesus, why? How does this guy have a $78 shipping fee for ammunition? Jesus. And then there's two different shipping and handling fees, both of which are $40 fucking dollars. No, here it is. Don't buy the cheapest option on Ammo Seek. They make up the difference in shipping costs. And the guy replies back, "Oh yeah, that's reasonable." My favorite thing about 4chan is that even anonymous users don't look the same. Because post-user anonymous users have a code based off every post. It's different for every different post, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, and it differentiates OP and other posters. It's completely anonymous. There is no accounts on 4chan. There's no accounts. Everything's done anonymously, which is why it's such a great place. Not to mention, the board really does not give a fuck what happens on 4chan. So there's very little shit that's removed or messed with. But very few people know that much about 4chan.
Hello, I'm breaking into your high security sewer.
This vehicle looks weird. That's because it's an anti-personnel vehicle. Those are a fucking what are they? Hey, Koi, you remember that vehicle? I forget what they're called from Far Cry 3, in which Vod or whatever his name is in when you go to save the hostages inside of it. Yeah, it's dozens of those. APCs. That's it. They're called APCs. That is a lot of AP fucking Cs. Jesus. And those are high pressure wheels too. Those won't even get punctured through a fucking bullet. Well, depends the bullet. A point blank shotgun take a few shots to puncture them. Damn. There are so many. God, there's gotta be at least fucking 40 of them. They ship them out through Romania. Those are US standard though. Those are US standard. You can see the US flags on them. They went through Romania, which means they probably shipped them through they probably sent them off on a ship for the northern seaboard and ended off in Romania, which is at the corner of Europe, top left. And there's a whole European transit station that would take them straight to Ukraine. Ah, let me see this again. Oh, he's fucking right. They send vehicles off. Vehicles always place on forward, so it's reverse. Why is it reverse? I know, Mom. You don't have a high enough security clearance to even be aware of this. Also, tell your FSB handlers we aren't going to do the Russians' house homework for them. They'll find out when those are a few seconds before it kills them.
I feel like that's good place.
Oh, this is a great. It's a fucking drawn poster of a fucking gun that shoots knives. But you remember the what was that game that had the dildo bat? You remember that game? I forget what it is. Saints Row. That's it. It's just a knife version, where it's a pink fucking dildo. I gotta stream you some fucking 4chan. 4chan's great.
No, I'm good.
Oh no, you gotta check out 4chan. It's the funniest shit ever. Look at this. It's literally a dildo attached to a knife shot through a gun. Look,
Much of the
it's
stream has actually been Black Mesa.
yeah, the whole stream is. Oh, this is fucking great. Fucking 4chan's great.
Alright, same time tomorrow. I'm gonna
You going to bed?
change. I'm just kidding.